My name is Justin, and I'll be responding to my opponent's claims that first, the Patriot Act, in discussing, talking about roving wiretaps is a violation of privacy. Her second claim was that info sharing is wrong, and the third one is that the Patriot Act in general is misunderstood by the government, so it's being misused. I'd like to start off by talking about roving wiretaps. She explained that they are a violation of privacy because they don't specify exactly what kind of media they're going to be monitoring, so innocent people can be caught in essentially the crossfire of the government trying to track down these terrorists. And so, first of all, the point of a roving wiretap is so that we can keep up with technologically advanced terrorists in order to protect our nation. So roving wiretaps are effective ways of tracking technologically advanced terrorists. As said by Larry Abersom in an article on NPR, Section 206, roving wiretaps allow one wiretap authorization to cover multiple devices, eliminating the need of separate court authorizations for a suspect's cell phone, PC, and BlackBerry. So what it's saying is that by getting this one warrant to tap a terrorist media, they can keep tracking them as they try and deter the government officers that are tracking them. And whether or not innocent people are being affected by this, they shouldn't be, because they're only monitoring the medias that they will be using. I have an argument saying that terrorists cannot effectively be tracked without roving wiretaps. In an article by Jenna Baker called "After Bin Laden, Support the Patriot Act," roving wiretaps, the provision allows law enforcement, after judicial approval from the court created by Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA, to continue continuous surveillance of national security suspects across modes of communication. It was enacted to allow proper authorities to monitor suspected terrorists in real time as they communicate. So these are all monitored wiretaps, so they cannot be abused. The second part is that info sharing is wrong, and the first part talking about it being an invasion of privacy and that it will affect civil liberties. There are provisions built into the Patriot Act to protect civil liberties. In an article written by Jenna Baker, again called "After Bin Laden, Support the Patriot Act," Section 215 further protects civil liberties by requiring additional approval for documents requests that might have the slightest relation of freedom of speech and expression, such as library records. Which brings me to my next point, when she is talking about how the government will be able to look at library records. This is essential because if terrorists or spies use libraries, we should not allow them to be safe havens for the terrorists or clandestine activities. The Patriot Act ensures that business records, whether from a library or any other businesses, can be obtained in national security investigations with permission of a federal judge. So this means that government isn't just going around looking at everybody's library records. They have a specific person that they're looking at, and they're looking for specific things. So if you're an innocent person and you're being watched by the government, you've obviously done something to trigger them, because they're not going to just look at anybody and their library records just to go find people. The Patriot Act is set up to provide citizens' rights and to protect citizens' rights and to provide national security. Roving wiretaps, since its passage in Section 206, has been subjected to substantial and appropriate oversight by Congress and now includes robust safeguards. The government must prove there is probable cause to believe that the target is a foreign power or an agent of foreign power. So again, they're not just targeting anybody. These are people that the government believes is a threat to the United States, and they're not talking about everyday citizens that they're just watching what they're texting and what they're emailing, what they're going on the internet. These are terrorist suspects. And also, the Patriot Act is a balance between civil liberties and national security. In an article called "Congress Explains the USA Patriot Act," Senator Baucus said, "I strongly support this important counterterrorism bill because it will give law enforcement officials the flexibility and resources to eradicate acts of terrorism. There's a thin line between increasing the powers of the federal government and maintaining Americans and Montanans' civil liberties. I believe the bill we passed today balances the needs of protecting the country from terrorism and protecting our rights as citizens of the great country." So I think this is a great quote to exemplify what we are saying, that there's a certain trade-off that you need between giving up rights and national security. So the trade-off is that the government may, if you're a suspect of terrorism, they may be able to surveil what you're looking at and who you're talking to, but all that is in trade-off for the peace of mind of national security due to terrorism. And that's it.